This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, Eminem murders Ivanka in new video. Ladies and gentlemen, in his new song, Framed, also the new video out for the latest single of last year's Revival album, Eminem plays a psychotic mass murderer, this escaped asylum patient who goes on a murder spree and then supposedly can't remember anything he's done during his murder spree. And he's been framed for all the killings. And guess what? Ivanka Trump is one of the victims in his car. She's dead in the trunk of his car. In the beginning of the video, breaking news says that Marshall Mathers, professionally known as Eminem, has escaped from an asylum. So, in other words, it's Eminem that's done this to Ivanka Trump in just this fantasy artistic video. Most of the scenes involve the brutally mutilated body of a young blonde woman, so we're pretty sure who Eminem wants this body to symbolize. As we know, Eminem has been very busy denouncing Trump. In one recent song, he's called him a bitch. He's denounced his fans. He's denounced Trump's fans, but he's told his fans that they have to choose. If they like Trump, they can't be his fans. Eminem is also very much against the NRA and the pro-gun crowd. You know, he's really busy getting really political against Trump, against the NRA, and now, there's this video of Trump's daughter being murdered by him in a video. It's very interesting that, the left is so humane. Eminem is so humane. He's really against Trump. He's really against the NRA. But, in this video, there's just all these verses of rage and violence and murdered bodies and, just the dead body of a young Ivanka Trump in the trunk of his car. What message does this video send out? What kind of ideas does it put into the minds of young people and his fans? Just a question. Here's another question. I couldn't help but thinking about it. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine a conservative singer, entertainer, artist, whatever, singing about or depicting in their form of art, killing one of Obama's daughters, or Bill and Hillary's Chelsea? I even regret verbalizing that or even expressing the idea, because I don't believe that one should even put their mouth on people's lives or terrible things that maybe something that can happen to someone. So I regret that I'm even bringing this up as an example. But, the argument still has to be made. What if, first of all, this would never even happen because conservative artists would never do such a thing. This is something that only leftist people do, constantly talking about murder and killing their political opponents. But just imagine, hypothetically, if a conservative artist in whatever realm did this about one of Obama's daughters, about Bill and Hillary's Chelsea. Just imagine. Well, we know what would happen. They'd probably be in jail by now. Their careers would be over. It would be seen as, racism, instigation of violence. It would be seen as a death threat, etc., etc., etc. But if it's done about Trump's daughter, well, that's just artistic expression. And I mean, conservatives really have to get over themselves, and Trump and his family just have to see what art is really all about and get over themselves. You see, the left is used to verbalizing the wish of murdering political opponents. We see it all the time. And it's very interesting that Eminem does a song about killing Trump's daughter, and there's not one word on MSNBC, on CNN, nothing. Well, that's because they're too busy, of course, discussing Trump's collusion with Putin to win the election. Ladies and gentlemen, these thoughts that I'm expressing today are coming from a person I would say maybe not the typical conservative that just hates rap and R&B and just thinks that it's all crap, etc., and then therefore just doesn't like Eminem. I grew up listening to a lot of hip-hop and rap. I grew up listening to Tupac and Biggie and Dre and Snoop. I'm from a lot of that world, a lot of that environment. And I like rap and I like hip-hop, and I am a fan, or was a fan, of Eminem, and still am to a large degree in terms of his talent. And perhaps many conservatives watching right now, is whenever I talk like this, they have their hands at their mouth and they're so shocked, and then they write me these letters telling me that rap is not music, etc., etc. Just please spare yourself on that one, okay? So, because I distinguish between the personal and the political. We can distinguish people that can be talented, but they just might be wrong politically. We're not Marxists. Okay, so this is another matter, but for instance, Sean Penn is one of my favorite actors. I think he's just brilliant in Mystic River and State of Grace, etc., etc. But yes, his politics are horrible. And the conservatives that can't differentiate between these things, well, my argument is that that's just Marxist behavior and a Marxist perspective, because we can separate politics from the personal sphere and from the artistic sphere, etc., etc. And so anyways, this is coming from somebody that sees talent in Eminem and appreciate, his poetry and his rap and his, the way that he is extremely talented in what he does. But in terms of the material, in terms of who is he now become as a person, I would say in this realm and in other realms, in what I've just brought up, pathetic, shameless, shameful. And so I would even say this in terms of Eminem, if by any chance you're watching this video, Eminem hitting 50 years old and still having that teenaged angst expression on your face and roaming around and slouching around your billionaire mansions complaining about how hard done by you are, I don't know, it's not really working anymore. I would say there needs to be maybe a little bit of a change in time and place, but, that's just me. But I would say this, is my few final thoughts on this, is that when I was watching this video, I couldn't help from seeing other leftist themes, very, very typical, and perhaps even subconscious. Perhaps Eminem doesn't even realize what he's doing. But in the video, this character is the murderer, is the perpetrator, and yet he's still the victim that's framed, and there's this kind of outrage at the world or at the police. So it's very interesting that you're the guilty one, but you've been framed. And there's always this theme in the left. Whenever it looks at social events, social circumstances, political circumstances, they can be the bad guys, but somehow they're still the victims. And it still comes out in this video and in this song, even in a subliminal way. Let me end on this. Murdering a young lady, Ivanka Trump, is really okay, according to Eminem and this video, and to our culture and our leftist establishment media. It's okay because she doesn't have the right political thoughts. And even if it's not even her political thoughts, what's even more interesting is it's because she's related to somebody that doesn't have the right political thoughts. Who does that remind us of? Che Guevara, Lenin. What was the Maoist Cultural Revolution all about? Stalinism all about? Well, one of the things we know that it's about, aside from the mass murder and the concentration camps, is that the people who were related to the people engaging in thought crimes were punished as well. So you see, Ivanka is related to the thought criminal. So she needs to be punished and killed as well in the leftist vision. And when a rapper sings about killing the daughter of a president, because it's a Republican and a conservative, the media doesn't say one word about it. It's okay to persecute the relatives of the thought criminals. Lenin, Che Guevara, the Maoist revolution in China, Stalinism. Today, North Korea. Today, the left. Always was and continues to be. We'll see you on the next Jamie Glazov Moment. Good night.